I grew up in Louisiana, and oh, thanks. Yeah. And once in a while, my friends and I would go to New Orleans. It was always a big deal because it was like going to, another world and everything because we weren't from a good part, right? And when we went one time, I was with three of my friends, and one of my friends was like, oh, we should all go to a psychic while we're here in the French Quarter, right? Because they have a bunch of psychics lined up, right? And so I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't even really believe in psychics. And even if I did, I don't know if I want to know, right? I'm all right. And he was like, no, come on, it'll be fun. Let's do it, right? So sure enough, he convinces all three of us to go ahead and do it. And there's lots of different psychics lined up. There's some people that are like reading palms. There's some people that have tarot cards. There's some people that are just staring at you like, oh, And so, I sit down, I sat at a tarot table, right? And I don't know anything about tarot cards at all. I don't know what the process is or anything, but I went ahead and I paid the lady, because you got to pay up front, right? They can't just be like, here's the future now. And so I went ahead and paid and everything, and then she started like dealing, right? And so, I didn't know, so when she had dealt a couple, I just scooped up a couple. Because I don't know how to play, right? And then she was like, don't do that. And so then she redealt, and I kept my hands to myself this time. And then there was one card she got to where she just went, ooh. She went, ooh, and then scooped up all the cards, grabbed her tablecloth, and walked away. I was like, I paid you for $5 worth of future. You got to say something. You can't just walk off. What? Because now I feel crazy because I just paid $5 to believe in that now. I don't know what she saw. My friends are next to me. They all getting their palms. Oh, yeah. Then they get done. And they're like, what about you? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know anything because she walked away. She can't just... And they were like, oh, maybe she was a scammer. I was like, maybe? She didn't even try. It's the future. You don't know. I can't prove. Do you know what I mean? Make something up. Even if you saw something terrible, lie to me. I won't know. And so then they were like, oh, well, stuff happens. It's just $5. I was like, nah. So I sat down with another psychic. I was like, hey, can you help me? And she's like, what are you looking for? What do you know? I'm like, no, none of that. I need you to find... I need you to track down one of you so then you can tell me what she saw. Like in the 80s movies when somebody would get in a cab and they'd be like, follow that car. I was doing that. But with the psych, because I was like, you need to track her because she walked off with a tablecloth and everything. I don't think she's coming back. Like, I need you to see what she saw to just... And she was like, oh, it doesn't work like that. I was like, how does it work? We are dealing with an emergency here. Because she didn't just go, ugh. She was like, ugh. Like, it doesn't look ambiguous what's about to happen next. You need to know what it is. There's an interesting thing that's happened over the past, 2 years, I'd say, where everyone has built out categories for people who are famous, right? So there are some people that are like that old Hollywood type of famous that's kind of disappearing. You may never get another one of these again, like Brad Pitt level famous, right? Like, we don't know if that'll ever happen again because the internet has split us so much that, like, there's very few hardcore blockbuster movies that just everyone went to see. And when they are happening, it's like still factions of people. And it's not the same actors in the same movies every time. So, like, the closest we've probably got is, like, Timothy Chalamet. You know what I mean? Like, he was in Wonka and then Dune 2 and, you know, and then something else at the same time. It felt like everybody in Hollywood. I remember that time because for those period of months when I was going to the movies, it felt like everybody else in Hollywood got sick. And it felt like they just kept calling, like, no, we need you to do, or the movie won't come out. It's like, okay, then he's Wonka, then I know where he's a Fremen, and he's like, you know, it's like, it was just a lot, right? And then you have people who are like, yeah, that old Hollywood famous. Then you have people who are more like internet famous in a way that may stick or may not stick. So you have people that have like millions and millions of followers on Instagram or on YouTube or whatever. So they're technically as famous, if not more famous, than the old Hollywood people, right? Because these people were picked by the people, you know what I mean? Whereas the other people's sort of their success feels like studio, feels like, you know, a machine driving it or something. And then you also have lengths, right? Like lengths of fame. So there are some people that are famous the way that, like, they will be as famous as long as, like, a turtle lives. Do you know what I mean? Like, they'll be famous for so long that they'll actually die and still be famous after they're dead because people keep watching their movies and they're in classics and stuff. So it's like those, like, Marlon Brando types and stuff like that, where even if you don't know who they are, even if you can't picture it, you know what they've created, you know a part of what they did while they were here, you know? And then there's people that are famous for a shorter amount of time. It's still substantial, but it's not the same amount. So people that are famous like lifespan of a dog. Like it's still quite a bit of time. You know, there are people who were like super famous in the 90s who are less famous now, but if you saw them in a grocery store, you'd be like, ah! Don't move, don't move. You were in something. You were in, I know your face, you were in something. And then there are people that are famous for like the lifespan, and this is sadly most of fame. There are people that are famous for the lifespan of like a goldfish. It's just here and gone, right? If you blink, you'll miss it. They were famous for like a week, you know? They really subscribe to that 15 minutes in a sense, you know? Because you don't even really remember why they were famous, and then someone has to like go on and on about the thing that they did. Like, I don't know her name, and I'm not picking on her or anything, but just as an example, it's like that one girl that was on TikTok that hit her hip on the bedpost. It was like, ah! And it's like... I don't know who she is. I don't know where she is. She could be here. But I wish her well. I'm not saying this as in like it's a dig on her. I'm just saying that that's what happens, is that now that algorithms are ruling the world and ruling how we see the world, how we see perspective from other people, and how we like take in any form of media, right? I think that those are like the three levels, you know? So there are people who you think are gonna be goldfish, and then they end up being dogs. And we haven't lived long enough to see if a goldfish is ever gonna become a turtle. But it's like here today, gone tomorrow, and it'll sweep the entire country. It might sweep the world for like a week or months. You don't know when it's gonna end, right? Like I can't tell if the Haktua girl is a goldfish. or like a dog, right? Because this is my thing. Okay, if somehow you don't know the phenomenon that is the hawk to a girl, basically, very quickly, it's something that took over the world for some reason. Where, people do those street interviews on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and stuff, and basically they walked up to this one young lady who was out with her friend, and they were like, what's one thing that drives a man wild? And she was like, you gotta go hot to her and spit on that thing, right? And in a few sentences, she captured the hearts, the hearts and minds of America in a way that sadly a president never could. And I think one of the reasons she blew up, because a lot of people accused her of being a plant or this being like some weird thing as soon as it happened, but I think that one of the things that propelled her to where she is now and what pushed her in so many different algorithms, because she blew up on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, and then there were like derivative things of her after the fact, and then people were trying to figure out who she was, all this stuff, right? And I think that it's because most of what creates anything and what drives algorithms is discussion, right? If you can get people to argue, you're getting people to comment. If you're getting people to comment, this soulless, faceless algorithm just sees that a lot of people are talking about it, so then it pushes it to more people to talk about. Because all they want is your attention. They just want to keep you where you are right now in your phone, right? So then people saw it, and then there were people who immediately hated her. Like, just in a way that's like, not, and this isn't a soapbox thing, just I'm saying I witnessed it. They hated her in a way that we only seem to hate women online. They hated her so much. And I think a lot of people hated her because she was right. But I don't know. I mean, some people hated her immediately, and some people loved her immediately. Some people thought she was the most endearing, so sweet, so funny, so genuine, because that's another thing that people are attracted to in a world that feels like everyone has a very cold and calculated outreach plan or way to get you to buy something or way to keep your attention. It just felt like somebody walked up to her and she talked and she had fun. She was out all night with her friend and then she left, right? And I think that level of being genuine really captured people in that moment, right? And so now, and I don't know where she goes from here. Apparently she's like getting a show, and apparently there's gonna be like, I don't know, a bunch of stuff that happens. There's already people who have like paid her to appear and stuff like that. And then you saw people get mad about that. There were some people that were like, that's so unfair. She was just talking, and now all of a sudden she has stuff, and then that kept it going. And people don't seem to realize that, like, what keeps her going is us talking. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying a diss on her or anything. I'm just saying, even right now, what I'm doing is keeping her in the algorithm forever. I do wish her well, though, because I think that especially if you are at sadly, if you're at like a goldfish level of fame, you don't really know why you're here. Kind of like the goldfish in the bowl that's swimming in a circle. Not really sure where it's going or if it can go anywhere, or I'm just here, you know. I used to be at a fair and now I'm at this dude's house. Because when you aren't known for a thing, when there's not, we used to have these turtles because we used to prop up people who were famous as these demigods. And we still do it. We do it in different ways now, because now there isn't just like old celebrity. Now there's like digital creator, there's influencer, there's all these different people, but we still do it to people where we like deify them in real time, right? And I think that before it was always attached to a skill. So it was always like Marlon Brando is the most brilliant actor of all time. Orson Welles is this incredible director, right? All of these people are absolutely deified in their skill and what they do. So then even the people that want to reach their heights, whether it's fame or just skill, they want to get to that level. And it's something that may never be achievable, right? And then when you're like dog famous, people stop calling, right? Like, it's like I was available for parts, but I don't know. Like I didn't want to take the steroids, so then Marvel was like, no. You know, and I wish her well, because I think that it's a terrifying thing to just have everybody think they can get something from you or want something from you immediately, and you don't really know why, right? And you don't know how to keep what you got. Maybe you can turn it into something, you know? Like, who knows? Maybe I is an actress now. Like, I have no idea. Maybe it is the start to something, or maybe it just petered out because, you know, that was a moment in time, right? Because it's just hard. Because then if you're out one day, no one talks about that. No one talks about what becoming like unfamous is. You know, people that are famous actually then they turn to becoming infamous just to keep some level of normalcy of where they were, right? That's why sometimes in my opinion, you see people who used to be more famous, all of a sudden they lose their minds, right? Like you'll just be on Twitter one day and see like Randy Quaid said something. And you're like, okay, all right, that's what he's up to now, all right. No. Because I think if you don't really know why you're there, and if people aren't actually around you, protecting you, nurturing you, and taking care of you, right? Because we don't, I mean, unless she's here, we don't know Haktua girl. Like, just, we don't know what she wants out of all this or something. It was just sort of thrust upon her. And she's like, I quit my job immediately and I just started taking meetings and stuff. And I'm like, good for you, but also like, be careful, you know what I mean? Because if you don't know why you're here, you don't know how to stay, and then you get treated like a goldfish after. After a couple weeks, and you get, you know, next thing you know, that's not a regular bowl. It's And by the way, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that she gets to use whatever springboard she wants, or like landing pad that improves her life. Because also, she didn't necessarily sign up for this thing. Somebody just asked her, what makes a man go crazy in bed? And then she knew, so then she answered, right? Like that's... I went to years ago, when I was with my friends back home in Louisiana, I went to a buffet. And this is a buffet before COVID, right? So this is a buffet that we just didn't know was nasty yet, right? Like COVID, you know, just gives you a different perspective on things that are like communal, right? Because a buffet is just family style eating, but it's with the public. Because you've had meals with your family before, and then you got that one cousin that's nasty, right? So then you're like, can someone please pass the mashed potatoes? And then they get ready to pass the mashed potatoes. You're like, ooh, not you, right? And then they grab the bowl and go to pass you, but they got their thumb in the bowl so they can get some grip on it, right? And then you're like, don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's, scoop it up, grab it from the bottom, hand it to me, because now it's thumb potatoes. So that's what it is. This is a buffet. It's just, you know, with everybody. And I even tried to give a buffet a shot post-COVID. And To be fair, maybe I wasn't being fair. Maybe I judged too quickly. But I basically walked in, and somebody who wasn't even at the food, just somebody at a table coughed, and I was like, forget this. This is... No, but this is years ago. I was in Louisiana with a few of my friends and went to this buffet. Now, this buffet did something special where basically they had the whole buffet and you could pay for that, or you could get a box. And if you got a box, it was a lot of the things that were at the buffet you could pick and choose, but it was food that came out of the kitchen, right? So it didn't feel like you were participating. And so I would always get a box, and there was one day they had a special, right? So you could get a box, and then for $1, you could get double meat, which I realize now as an adult is not a deal. Because meat should never be $1, right? Like, because you told me the whole box was $13, and then they were like, for $1, we'll just double it up. That means that all the meat is 50 cents. These margins are too tight for you to just be giving away all this meat for $1, right? This is horse. It has to be. All the meats that I know of cost a little bit of money, right? And so I was young. And I was naive, and so I was like, ooh, hit me with that double meat. And so sure enough, they give me the box. It's packed, right? And there's just a ridiculous amount of meat, a bed of rice, some veggies on the side, and like a little treat in one of the little compartments, right? And so we all sit down to eat, and I am loving life because I'm eating like a king for like $13. Had a coupon. And everything's well and good. We even leave. And about 40 minutes later, I get a pain. But the pain is the pain is not in my chest or my stomach. The pain is like in the middle, like right here, which is terrifying because I was like, I shouldn't get this till I'm 58. Like this is too specific of a spot. Like it needs to be like, you know, like head, shoulder, you know what I mean? Like all the pain should have a section, right? And like it either needs to be stomach ache or heart attack. I don't want whatever this is. This is an insane region to have this much pain. And so then I'm doing all types of weird movements trying to like make the pain decide where to go. Like I'm trying to either push it up or knock it down or something. Like I'm cramping up, but it's like it's right here. And I've never felt anything like that before. And so then I have like a little, I don't know, I do some motion and the pain just gets even tighter here, right? And then it starts to hit my stomach, and so I run. I didn't even know I was fast. I run. I run to the bathroom, right? And I run to the bathroom, and I'm glad nobody was in that one because I kicked the stall door open, right? Because we're in crunch time. This isn't a no. You know what I mean? Like, we're pushing at least, right? And so I run up and I kick the stall door open, which you should never do because those stall doors bounce back, right? So I kick and boom and boom and boom, and then I get up off the floor, right? And I get in the stall, and then I sit down, and it's still just like, it's all right here. And I'm like tearing up. It hurts so bad. I don't know. I can't even describe it because I've never felt anything like it since. And I'm just like, I'm still trying to do the movements, like push the pain to make sense. You know what I mean? And I've been praying, by the way. I've been praying for a long time because you ever in the bathroom and you start to pray, but you're not even praying about anything related to what you ate. You're praying about something you might have got away with when you were little. And you were like, Lord, I'm sorry I took it. I didn't think they noticed. It's my bad. I won't do it again. Just, that's gotta be what this is about, because this is too specific. This is like an inch below the nipples pain. Just hurting, right? And then I can't help it. I'm like audibly making noise. I'm like, I think this is what the psychic saw. Welcome to Josh Johnson Show. I'm Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host, fellow stand-up comedian Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man. If you're listening, you think, man, Josh sounds like he's in a cave. It's actually a WeWork. It's not a cave.
Yeah, I did not see this coming. I did not think that my week would go like this, but I am in a WeWork.
Yeah.
And that's where we're recording from.
That's what we do. That's what we do to try to make it a weekly episode. We'll even just have to go, and I can just see people walking around behind you.
Yeah. One day we will have to record in a cave.
Me and that guy behind you in the hallway just made eye contact.
Yep.
Well, hey, man, do you want to open up the mailbag?
I would love to.
Let's do it. Ooh, which one do I want to go first? I got a whole collection here. Do you want to throw me a number, or do you want me to just pick one at random?
Go with number 3.
Number 3. Here we go. All right, this is the third one I have here. This one is just called "Realizing Aldi is Not Aldo," and this is from Claire. Hi, Josh and Logan. I'm so glad I found your pod after watching Josh's stand-up. I've been absolutely binging the show from episode 1. Anyway, it was only in the 10th episode or so when I realized that I was getting Aldi mixed up with Aldo, the shoe store. I didn't know there was a shoe store called Aldo. Did you know that?
Yep.
Okay. So because Josh mentioned something about groceries. So you kind of threw it for a loop then. Upon Googling it, I realized my mistake, but also I can't imagine Josh selling shoes. So anyway, hold on. Why do you think can't imagine you selling shoes? What do you think you're lacking to
shoe salesman energy, I think.
Yeah.
I think if I tried to sell you a shoe, it wouldn't seem like I really had shoes in the back.
Yeah, it sounds like you just want to see my feet.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you look like a size 10. I think you'd just be creeped out.
Yeah. Just let me go pause on it. Let me feel around. So anyway, I had a question for y'all. Are there any basic things that you were confused about for a long time or mistook for something else? Like how Logan thought might as well was mind as well. Thanks for brightening my day during stressful times and always making me laugh way too hard in the streets. Signed, Claire. Thank you, Claire. God,
do you want to go first?
I don't know if I have any of them left to say. I feel like we've already revealed so many of the things we were wrong about.
Did I already tell you about hummus?
I don't think so.
So this is embarrassingly recent that I found this out.
Okay.
I found this out when I was like 23 or 4.
Okay.
So I didn't know what hummus was because I didn't grow up eating hummus. We didn't have a lot of Mediterranean dishes in Louisiana to begin with. And then as a family, no one ever cooked like that or made that stuff or bought those pre-made meals.
Right.
So I didn't grow up with like baba ganoush or like any of these things. Mm-hmm. And so I came across hummus for the first time at a picnic when I was still pretty little, and I just didn't try any of it. But I saw all of the white people clamoring like it wasn't like it was a brawl, but they went right for it, you know, and they kept talking about it. They were like, oh, the hummus was delightful. They were just going on and on about the hummus.
And then, uh, years later, it didn't come up for years. And then I was at another function and there was hummus. And by that point, I knew I didn't like white sauces. Like I didn't like mayo. I didn't like a lot of the, and I was very weird about creaminess. So I even started eating guac a little bit late because the texture, I didn't like it at first when I was little. And then it took me a while to fall in love with it,
That kind of makes sense for what I know about your finicky food habits. Yeah.
So then it's not until I start working at Trader Joe's that I am like, oh no, no, it's right before Trader Joe's. So in college, I just finally asked someone because I went to college with a lot of white people as well, and so they would just go on about hummus and how like hummus was their favorite snack, like hummus and chips or hummus and celery. And so I was like, "What is hummus?" And they were like, "It's chickpeas." And I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
just mashed up." They're like, "It's mashed up chickpeas." I'm like, "Just mashed up chickpeas?" They're like, "Yeah, okay." And it's not until I start working at Trader Joe's and I'm stocking the shelves that I see a can of how do you pronounce it? What are they? It's like it's even another word for chickpea.
Another word for chickpea?
Yeah, I can't think of it right. Garbanzo bean.
Oh,
Right?
okay, okay.
Yeah, because chickpeas are also garbanzo beans. Is that right?
I don't know if that one's true.
That may not.
I
That
can't
may not
back
be
you up
right.
on that. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm putting up garbanzo beans. I'm putting up chickpeas, like all this stuff. And it's not until I hold the can of chickpeas and see the picture of the chickpeas as I'm stocking it that I'm like, oh, mashed up chickpeas. So I thought all this time, as long as I've asked what hummus was and thought I knew what hummus was, that hummus was battered, like beat to death, mushed up baby chickens. Because I thought a
Interesting.
chickpea was a chicken baby.
Interesting.
And so I was so
Whoa.
disgusted by hummus.
Whoa.
And I
So
was so disgusted by people who ate hummus because I was like, you're just eating battered babies.
Wait, so okay, hang on. So you not only do you think it was ground up chicks, but you thought chickpea was the name of chicks, like
I
baby
thought
chick.
chickpea was the name of chicks.
So this was several things. This was a
This is so many layers deep of wrong that's why the story was boring at first because I had to take you all the way back to like, okay, here's hummus, then here's chickpeas,
Yes.
then here's beans, and then because then some hummuses aren't even chickpeas. They're like there's one that's like it's got a different name, but essentially a hummus with a different bean.
right, yeah.
But yeah, I used to think way too old. Like we're talking 20. I would be at a party and I'd see hummus and I'd be like, why would you?
Wow.
And I didn't even try it until I found out it was mashed up beans.
Well, and listen, to throw myself
And it
out
has
there.
the same thing as pate. It has the same look as pate.
Oh, pate. He had to
from
go
afar.
He had to go high class on me about pate now all of a sudden.
Now, but isn't pate mashed up chicken?
I
That's
think
actually
so.
mashed up
Yes.
chicken, right?
I think so. It's mashed
So
up.
I also thought that it was mashed up babies because of pate. So I was sure people were out here eating dead bird baby and loving it and bragging about it. And so I was like, man, people are gross. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's like poultry caviar, kind of, if you think about it.
That's exactly what I thought it was. I thought it was like chicken caviar, which I'm sure is a thing that people love that are rich.
I think that's just scrambled eggs.
No.
I think that's what chicken caviar is. It's just scrambled eggs.
No. I'm talking about some bougie. We made the chicken think it was gonna have a wonderful life, and then we stole the dreams out of it.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I had one during the telling of that story because I did not know chickpeas and garbanzo beans were the same thing. I didn't know that. I thought they were totally different because I never even really put it together that chickpea was a bean. Makes sense. It's a pea. That pea is a type of bean, basically. So I just had one during that story, But
Yeah.
you also reminded me of a different one of that type of food, I remember. Because I was thinking back, I'm like, oh, yeah, what did I think of hummus? Because I didn't know what it was for a long time either, because we just didn't have it, growing up in, rural Midwest. So kind of come from the same place. But I remember at a time when there was, it was actually at film school, and it was like a dinner for this like one of the school film festivals that I had to film in, and we won an award, no big deal. But was there, and I remember they had food there, and it was like like hummus, and they also had falafel there. And I realized in that moment I'd never actually had falafel before. Because when I bit into it, I really was kind of expecting, because you know how they look like they're little brown balls, I really, in my head, when I was about to bite it, I was preparing to basically be tasting like a hush puppy from Long John Silver's.
Yeah, it's just a Greek hush puppy.
Yeah, but wildly different flavor combinations. So I remember I bit into it and was shocked. It wasn't bad, but I was shocked, where I almost like spit it up because my brain was so prepared for something else.
So,
And I don't think it's gross. I like it. It was just when you're not prepared, when you're thinking it tastes like something entirely different.
so when I was in it had to be like the second grade, we were having lunch, and a kid thought that his mom packed him orange juice, and she had packed him a chocolate milk, but it was in a little thermos to keep it cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so he opens up his icebox and he goes to drink it, and he almost chokes on it, not just because it's the opposite of what he could imagine. Because if you're thinking, if you've prepared your mouth, if your brain has told your mouth, hey, we're about to witness the tanginess of orange juice, all right?
Yeah.
And the particular orange juice that you drink at home, right? So we're talking about, hey, maybe you're an Ocean Spray kid. Maybe you're a Sunny D child,
Yeah.
But this kid goes to take a drink and almost chokes, because not only is chocolate milk hitting his mouth and he's confused, but he also choked because he went to say what while he was drinking. So he goes to take a sip. We're talking at the table, and then we just hear him say what, like he's at the bottom of a lake. And that's what I thought of when you bit into the falafel. Just what?
It kind of was. I about went and like, and then even had to take a second, collect myself, and be like, it didn't taste bad. I just wasn't prepared.
I remember I once had liver at a restaurant they had this weird thing where instead of just one big entree, they would give you two things that could be considered an entree, but they give you smaller portions, and then they give you a bigger side and then a dessert. So it's almost like you're showing up to this restaurant to get a TV dinner, because the portions, I appreciate the portions because they were manageable. It actually felt like a European restaurant, because not only were they cooking very well, but you left feeling full without feeling sick and cleaning your plate at the same time.
Big, yeah.
Like a lot of times in America, if you stop when you're full, you look like you've wasted a dinner.
Oh, for sure. Especially in the Midwest. I told somebody about that, of just like food portions here are just like, even if you order something healthy, the salad's coming out in a wheelbarrow. Like, it's not. Actually, I might have said that on the show. Maybe I'll cut that out. I may have said that on our very show.
But basically, I got like a liver and something else, and it was finally time to taste the liver, and I didn't even close my mouth. I cut a piece, I put it on my tongue. It hit my tongue, and I was like, oh. I let it fall right out of my mouth.
Yeah, it's upsetting, especially when you have an experience like that at a restaurant, because then you want to also make sure you're not making a show of it, but also get it out of my mouth. Speaking of experiences at restaurants, you ready for this next email?
Oh yeah,
it'll make sense. But this is from Anna. I believe this is our old friend Elsa, Anna, because they mentioned Sweden here. So from Elsa, Hey guys, love your show. It lifts me up on rainy days. I can relate to Josh's friend. She is a trooper. The friend she is referencing is the friend from episode 99 who went on the date with the ventriloquist.
Yeah.
So she is relating to this friend. Long story short, I was on a date with this gentleman, well-dressed, polite, and attentive. But pretty quick during dinner, at a nice place, he brings up his fascination for feet.
Oh, God. I was imagining so many other things besides feet.
Feet was his kink. I wasn't shocked, but more surprised by the topic, and feet is not my kink. Well, he slides down from his stool, trying to be discreet, grabs...
I watch you. We should do a reading. We should do a reading of you reading erotica half a sentence at a time.
Yeah, get ready for that Patreon bonus.
Because the story is already not sexy, but it's so much less sexy when you stop to be like, try to be discreet.
Well,
oh God,
he slides. Wonder how soundproof those WeWork booths are.
I hope not at all.
Well, he slides down from his stool, trying to be discreet, grabs my feet, pulls off my open toe heels, takes a good look at my manicured toenails, licks his lips, and sniffs my shoe. Jesus Christ. Wow.
The fact that he was holding her foot, and then you could just see it like in a movie, it would be like he was about to go sniff her foot and then just completely ignores her foot to sniff the shoe.
Yes, yeah. He licked his lip at the at the foot, but then just puts it over his mouth like Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet, you know. I was throwing up in my mouth. By the way, the restaurant was full. Take care.
He had to say excuse me to somebody he went on a date with to get down.
Oh.
And get at that foot.
Take care.
He probably tripped somebody while he was down there sniffing.
Yeah, tripped, just knocked over a server. Take care and stay cool. Love, Anna. A show in Sweden coming up? Question mark. Man, that'd be awesome. We'll keep you posted. But just know, Anna, you've now turned Josh into a person who laughs like a crazy person at an office on his own show.
This is the wildest thing about all this is I told that story.
The ventriloquist story?
The ventriloquist story when I was in Amsterdam. And the audience was so much more concerned than they were laughing. Like they found it kind of funny, but they were mostly like, what happened to her? Like, did he kill her?
Yeah. What's the punchline? She's missing now? Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Just the boldness too, to finally bring it up, just be like, feet is my kinks anyway, and then just slither it down your chair. like the Grinch to get to the ground.
The restaurant was full.
The restaurant
Trying to
was
be
full.
discreet. Not even trying to be charming enough that you go home with him and then maybe he sees your feet because you're getting undressed. It's fully trying to be discreet right now because he can't wait. This is the other crazy thing about that is that a foot fetish is like, I remember in the 90s when we were little and you'd hear about a foot fetish and it was the weirdest thing. Like people used to like really be really weird about it.
Yeah.
That it was even a kink at all. And now it's like the bottom of the like it's just so much
It's
more stuff and weirder stuff and like
it's basic
extreme
now.
stuff. It's super basic.
Feet's basic.
The
at this
thing
point.
that's crazy about a foot fetish versus any of the other fetishes is that just about everybody that you're going to date has feet.
Yeah.
So you don't
Some
even
don't,
need
but-
to be into, you don't even need to be into the foot fetish for yourself because the other person is just attracted to your feet. It would be a totally different thing if your foot fetish was people being into your feet. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Kind of, but I don't know. I guess I kind of see them going together, but maybe I don't know. I'm not necessarily a feet guy. I don't know.
I'm not a feet guy either, but to me, it's like when someone's says they're.
I'm also
really
now
into-
hoping that the booth is not soundproofed.
Yeah,
Because they're only hearing your half of it too. It's just like, I'm not a feet guy either.
I'm not a feet guy.
Thinking you're in an actual.
Listen to me. All right.
Like you're
I'm
in an
not some
actual.
foot pervert.
It looks like you're on an actual like work Zoom call and just like, listen, I'm not into feet either. All right.
The thing is, I guess this is what I'm trying to say, is that the same way that someone might be like, oh, I'm always so attracted to someone with great legs, right?
Sure. Yeah.
The person that they're attracted to who has great legs, it may not be their thing to have people want them for their legs. See what I'm saying?
Okay. I guess I see what you're saying. Like, no matter what your kink is, you also gotta do something for their kink then.
And that's where I'm like, it seems, especially if you're not a lunatic like this guy, it seems like feet would be one of the more accessible fetishes because lots of people have feet.
Mm-hmm.
If you're into something extreme, people don't just walk around with balls and chains on them, but people got feet to get around.
Sure.
You know. And I feel like that's why it's broken through so much so that Anna wasn't even that phased. She was more phased by the fact that he was like, I'm really into feet and I have to have yours right now.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah. I was like, oh, you bring it up like, oh, okay, fine. But then it's like to then say it and then, I don't know, start drooling.
Yeah, I'm into uncomfortable feet. Are you uncomfortable right now?
Yeah, okay, that's the thing. He's not even really into feet. He's just really into social faux pas. That's what he's into.
Yeah.
He's just really into making people uncomfortable. Good Lord.
Because how would you even explain it if the food came? Would
Yeah.
you be like, oh, I'm sorry, my wallet fell in her shoe?
And I'm going to really need a follow-up email on this of just... Because now I really want to know. I really want to know how Anna reacted. I want to know what your reaction was in that moment. Because it kind of just ends with what he did. What did you do?
Also, what did he really expect another date after that, or did you go on another date
This
after
thing
that?
I want to know. Did you just be like, oh, okay, and then I'll just get to the date, or were you like, no, nope, goodbye, sir?
Imagine a full restaurant making your date that uncomfortable, but then being so charming for the rest of the date that you win it back. That'd be an epic tale.
Exactly. So I think I think you undersold yourself as the main character of this story, Anna, because I only have questions about you and what you thought and how you reacted. Oh, let's see. Why don't you go ahead and I don't know, pick a number again, or let's go. So you've chosen number 3 already.
Number 2.
Number 2. Okay, this one is called "No Gods, No Kings, Just Piss," which I believe was something I said in an episode. And the dangers of dressing in the dark. This is from Kiki. Hello, Squeaks and Toontown. I got a chance to teach at a prestigious university that was an hour away. I was so excited I signed the contract without realizing that the class was going at 7 a.m. Who the hell wants a 7 a.m. class anyways? I never did. Needless to say, I sucked it up and got up at 5 a.m. every morning to get my classy ass up there. So I was dressing in the dark on the regs not to wake up my family. Sometimes this would result in me having just one earring in, or maybe poorly applied eyeliner. One day that topped the charts was when I got my dress on and grabbed the belt that went with it and hopped onto the highway. As I was teaching class, I looked down and saw that, to my horror, instead of the blue belt that goes with the dress, I indeed had on a bright, sparkly green and fuzzy robe belt. It felt the same in the dark, but looked wild. I just leaned into it like I planned it, and like it was high fashion. Love, Kiki. P.S. Love me some Hold Up podcast because I get a double dose. I get it in my lungs. That's what it says.
What I love about this belt situation
Yes.
is that from the story, tell me if I'm wrong, but from the story, it wasn't until class started that Kiki looked down.
It sounds like class was happening. So
Yeah.
it means every student was also being like, is she wearing a robe belt?
Yeah. What I would
That
really
looks like a
want to
robe
see,
belt.
what I would want to see happen is to teach the class and not realize that you have on a full robe with a real belt. And I don't know what Kiki's teaching, but you just fully in the middle of the lesson, and then you realize that you're a little hot in this. This is like a little stuffy, and then you look at your collar and you're like, oh no.
Oh my God. My shirt is soft as hell. What I put on?
Yeah.
Sparkly green and fuzzy robe belt. It's like, there's very little that could go with, You try to think like, oh, but did you get away with it? No, everyone saw that the second they walked in. If you had a sparkly green robe belt on.
Especially, like, does a sparkly green robe belt have a buckle on it? Like, this is one of those things where I'm trying to put my mind in the same place as someone who's getting ready in the dark.
They say it felt the same in the dark, but I'm trying to think of what then belt would go with the dress. I guess there can be like just kind of
No,
quick.
yeah, you can just put
They have little
belt
sash ones
around.
kind of like that. Yeah,
but for me, here's the thing. If it felt the same in the dark, you either have some very comfy regular belts or you got a terribly made robe belt. It felt the same.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, it means you got fuzzy belts. It sounds like all your belts are fuzzy, is what I'm hearing.
What I would love is if we were to get a follow-up with Kiki, and the only thing that's weird about this story to her is that it was the green one. Like, she has nothing but fuzzy belts, but then the green one did not go.
The green one. The dress was kind of green. They were just too close, but too different. Ugh. Oh, my goodness. Do you want to read one?
Yeah. So this next email is from Tasha. It's called When Your Sweet Grandmother Puts a Hit Out on You.
God, I would watch that movie.
Just a grandma like, he owed me some money, so
Yeah.
Gonna get it one way or the other, blood in or blood out. All right.
Bring me the head of my grandson.
And I'll give you a cookie.
Oh, he's wronged me the last time. Now get something to eat. You look like you're wasting away.
You're gonna beat Gran to the grave.
She's cooking. She's over the oven, but behind her on the table is just a stack of cash.
Yeah.
This is for you if you murder my grandchild.
I want Tyler out here taking dirt now. All right. All right.
My gift load better be a little lighter come this Christmas.
I want to save $5 that I put in the cards.
Now you go out there and do your work. And don't look at that.
Becoming Bane.
Do you feel in control?
Grandma, your shoulders.
I
All
was
right.
born in the dark. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I was born before light.
I still don't quite get it, and it scares me.
Yeah. Oof. Oof. I don't like all this newfangled technology you kids got with just seeing everything all the time. Y'all just be seeing all the time. Good knees. I don't like any of it.
I don't care for it. Back in our day, you just would run into some stuff at night.
No character.
It's a simpler time. It strengthen your spirit and strengthen your face.
It would actually be hilarious to have like a someone that's so old that they were born before light, so there's actually no racism back then. Like you just couldn't see anybody.
Once lights got invested, everyone was like, ah.
Yeah. Why is everyone so different?
None of you look like the way I thought you would. I just assumed you looked like me. Back before lights, humans thought there was one face. And we all had it.
Oh God.
Anyway.
Anyway, hey, it's Tasha. I was thinking of all the beatings I've ever gotten as a child and how incredibly unjust they were. For example, my great grandmother told me not to pick up the kittens outside, but I was maybe 5 or 6, so of course I was going to. I chose a gray kitten to be mine. His name was Witchy, and I loved him. She saw me showing my affection to Witchy, and when I was in the house later, she got me with a surprise attack. She was wilded though and beat me with a switch, thin branch from a tree.
Jesus.
For people who don't know.
Yeah.
Beat me with a switch with thorns on it, which he got run over maybe 2 weeks later, and I love dogs now.
Oh God.
I've gotten multiple projectiles from my mother, which include a high heel shoe, hanger, and my own backpack. She waited until I was a teenager to slap me with the speed and finesse you see from Donnie Yen in Ip Man.
Jesus.
But it was my grandmother who got me with a phone call. Before I went outside to ride bikes with my cousins, she told me not to ride past my uncle's house. I did, of course, and peeped my aunt on my uncle's patio frowning at me, looking like she was about to snitch. When my cousins and I got to the end of our journey, we turned our bikes around only to see my aunt with a thornless switch in her hand.
Jesus.
Standing in the middle of the road waiting for me to come by.
Oh.
She was like one of those enemies you see on the map in a JRPG. Where you can choose to engage or not. While my cousins easily avoid her, I knew that me getting got that day was inevitable. So in defeat, I rolled by her slowly like it was a car wash, except I was getting lathered in pain and rinsed myself in tears. Anyway, I was wondering if either of you experienced such unnecessary familial violence in your childhood when maybe the punishment didn't fit the crime.
Man, that is genuinely a hit getting put out on you of just like, hey, they're gonna be riding back. Go get them.
Yeah.
Oh man. And to anyone who's maybe like, it's like, we get it. Not everyone had the same type of upbringings. I had, not similar, didn't get switches. Although we did have, outside my grandma's house too, they had like a weeping willow tree. So I think it had been used on me before, but it wasn't like a common occurrence. But because they did that to, that's how my mom would talk about all the time. They'd have to go pick their own switch for it. So like very old timey upbringing.
Also, picking your own switch
It's
is
yeah.
is one of those things that's just psychological
It's
terror.
just one of those things, like,
Because then you bring back a flimsy one,
and they always go pick another one.
and now they're more angry.
Yeah. It's like, no matter how you feel about, a spanking or whatever, I think everyone can agree of just being like, yeah, that's a bit much. That's to make them pick it is a bit much. But no, I can say I can say this as me now. I didn't get that many spankings. I know the ones I got, I probably deserved. I can say that. That the ones I got were kind of like, yeah. Yeah.
This is like you won't see it or anything, but I remember one time. This was not my family. This is like I was hanging out with some other kids, and their dad, like rolled by, and like on foot. So he walked up to us, and there's some familial thing that I knew nothing about that had gone down, where basically my friend had lied to his dad that he didn't do something he definitely did.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But now his dad had evidence, so he sees us playing in the neighborhood and gives him one more chance to like, hey, before when you said, and it was like, I can't remember if he had stole something or whatever,
Right.
but this is a perfect. Okay, so he had asked him. I think he stole something with his cousin, and so they're both standing there. The dad's like, "Hey, remember when I asked you about this thing? And you said you didn't know anything about it. Well, this person says I saw you there, and blah blah blah." And so then he's finally like, I think in his child mind, he thinks enough time has passed, because I used to think this as well. When enough time has passed after a bad thing has happened, in your mind, you're like, they can't be that mad because it didn't just happen. This is very old.
Yeah.
So I don't know how old it was, but it was old enough for him to finally just be honest, or maybe he just knew that too much evidence was mounted against him now,
Yeah.
And so he's honest. And we had just gotten ice cream, and he had a double scoop cone in his hand, and I think we all got one scoop, but he got a double. Anyway, his dad, so as soon as he admitted that he did it, his dad slapped the ice cream cone out of his hand sideways, fast enough for it to hit his cousin in the face.
That's a good 2 for the price of 1 move there. Yeah.
And his dad just took off, but he was so frozen from how fast it happened. He was just holding air like it was still the ice cream cone. And I was like, oh, yeah, that seems like you shouldn't have lied to that dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what you stole, but now you don't have any ice cream. And his dad just left after that.
He is now taken from you.
Yeah, now he's kind of just like, oh man, how does yours taste? I was like, tastes like mine. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh man. This next one here, this is from Natalie, and it is called Hi Again. Hi again, Josh and Logan. I'm Natalie. I wrote in last year to say hi and ask some silly questions. I'm the one from the Mary John Blythe episode whose question made you start talking about Power Rangers, which I think we've done more than once, but because we're men in our 30s. I wanted to write again because something happened fairly recently that I thought you would find funny. I'm genderqueer, and recently I briefly considered changing my name. I was seriously considering calling myself Neo after the character from The Matrix because it's one of my favorite movies and has also been confirmed by the directors as a trans allegory. The funny part is, when I told my dad what I was thinking about, his main objection was that Neo is super badass, and by most standards, I'm definitely not. I just thought it was so funny that he was fine with the idea of changing my name, but thought I wasn't badass enough to call myself Neo. It stung, but in a way that still makes me laugh months later. So I thought I wanted to hear your take. I love the show. Thank you for doing what you do, Natalie. I
it would
love that
be
story. I love that story.
it would be so funny if the dad was like, "Listen, you're Neo is a bit much.
Yeah.
Let's go for you like the movie Cars, right? Like just like some completely different franchise. Just something where you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I mean, what about Nemo? You still get the Neo, but
Yeah,
like
it's in
there's
there
an
kind
M,
of.
and it's a little bit more heartwarming. You're not like a badass
Yeah,
person.
yeah, yeah.
You're more of a heartwarming individual. So let's go ahead and get you Nemo in there.
Yeah.
And look, just Neo alone, you're not getting through an airport. Look at what they did security in the first movie. Okay, you're gonna be on a list immediately.
You're gonna have a lot of security guards who have a grudge against Neo.
TSA ain't gonna let you through. They're
God,
petty.
that would be so good if that was true. Like any security guard anywhere saw that movie's like, he killed so many people just doing their jobs.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he brought guns to a place where he wasn't supposed to bring guns.
Brought all the guns.
All the guns. He brought a bag of guns and bombs and everything. He was dressed in guns. His clothes was guns.
His clothes was guns. His pants was guns. Underwear
Yeah.
was guns. That's dangerous.
But that story is like weirdly one of the more heartwarming stories I've heard in a while. Because it means like it means your dad really does accept you, but fully to the point where he's like, listen, I know my kid's no badass.
Well, look. I accept you, and I see you. Sometimes feeling seen is a little too raw.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. Real quick.
Yo.
It's I know we're almost done, but it's my granddad's birthday, and my mom is calling me. I'm just gonna step out real quick.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
I'll be right back.
Cool. I can say confidently that WeWorks don't look pleasant. This is a weird interlude while he's gone. Maybe I'll cut this, but just I've never seen the inside of them. I've never been to one. Yeah, what a strange. And now like people are walking by and can just see me looking out. I'm gonna turn my camera off. I think I'm just gonna do that for a second. It feels weird that people walking by will just see me watching their office. So,
Cool.
This one is from Melissa, and the title is called Spiritual Life Tent. So, hey, Josh and Logan. I wanted to recount a story for y'all that happened to my friend Jacob in college. Jacob and I both went to American University, where there's an interfaith chapel known as K Spiritual Life Center. All you need to know about K is, one, it is unequivocally a building.
Is a bona fide building. All right. When it comes to being stacked on top of each other, building looking is building.
It's got walls. It's got a ceiling. This is a building ass building. Okay. And two, I have never heard of anything notable going down at said building. Okay. So not only is it a building, seems to be not the place to be.
I mean, it's a punk ass building.
It sounds like it sounds like it's barely a building, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Not even doing building things.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not doing building things, you basically a cave.
Oh, fat ass cave. Oh, wannabe building.
Fake ass building. I got 2 degrees at this school and only ever entered this building maybe twice. Well, one day, some lady approaches Jacob on the quad and says, "Excuse me, can you point me toward the K Spiritual Life Tent?" To which Jacob responded, well, the K Spiritual Life Center is right over there. The lady said, "Oh, so that's where it all went down." She starts heading in that. She starts heading in that direction and says, "Thanks, sweet cheeks," just to top it off, I guess. Jacob and I graduated without ever knowing who this lady was or what she thinks went down at said spiritual life tent, but I hope she found what she was looking for. As always, thanks for the laughs and for giving me something to look forward to listening to every week. Y'all are the best. Thanks, sweet cheeks. Melissa. She wrote the thanks, sweet cheeks part.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
let's just go through again the moments that happened here. So the person shows up asking, "Excuse me, can you point me toward this K spiritual life tent?" Which, frankly, spiritual life tent is actually a great phrase because it sounds like it could be something, but if you think about it at all, it sounds like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because at best it kind of sounds like, you know, like some sort of traveling preacher situation.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that anyone who's like, "Oh, that's where it all went down," and doesn't clue you in is a bit of a monster. Like you can't just do that to someone and then go about your day.
Yeah. Oh, so that's where it all went down. That's where the incident occurred.
Don't act like we're all in the same Netflix doc with you.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't have the backstory. You need to tell me what it is that and what it is that went down and what it.
Yeah.
Help me.
Because frankly, the best case scenario, and this is a very unlikely best case scenario, the best case scenario is that this person who said, "Oh, that's where it all went down," they are trying to correct the mistakes of an alternate timeline. They're trying to solve some sort of multidimensional mystery, and that's your best case scenario.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then, thanks, sweet cheeks, frankly dismissive. Whether you're a multidimensional time traveler or not, pretty smug.
You never catch Doctor Who saying thanks, sweet cheeks.
You know who would say that, though? If Captain America was real. You know, because he's from another time.
Grandpa, you can't say that. Well.
Here you go. You're welcome, Toots. And then he runs off.
Oh, man. Yeah. When you think about like Captain
I don't like that
America,
Tony Stark and his beatnik facial hair.
Yeah, like when you think of Captain America, he should be saying way wilder stuff.
I mean, it would spice up that whole universe. You know, I mean, I like Marvel movies, but goddamn, if one of the main heroes, every now and then everyone had to be like, okay, just let he's from a different time.
You can't say that now.
You can't say that.
Also,
but
we've invented TV.
But we are also fighting an alien gods. I don't have time to tell you this right now, Cap.
Yeah. Cap just walking back into headquarters like, I can't go back to Wakanda. Said some stuff and everybody got mad at me.
I like you, Sam Wilson. You're one of the good ones.
Yeah. Why is it every time I talk, people say, "What's that supposed to mean?"
The future's stupid. No one gets what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Acting like I'm the bad guy. How can I be bad?
Listen,
I'm Captain America. America's never done anything bad.
Never done anything bad. Listen, I was ready to punch Hitler and then boom, I'm here. So, like, I'm not a bad guy.
I literally punched Hitler in the face.
I think that
gives me a couple passes.
Are you kidding me? You can't say anything anymore. We were all equally mad at Thanos. Everyone just kept being mad at me for making it about it being purple. Like, everyone. But, like, they wanted to kill him, too.
It would be a very specific argument to be like, Thanos kills half your family, and you're like, see these purple whoa, wait,
we need to not. Come on,
guys. He killed half the universe. I think you get a
We're meeting so many aliens now, so like it's hard to know. Let's just
and not all the purple aliens are the same as
they're
Thanos.
not.
You just you don't really.
Well, Vision we made we made in that pod there. He's not going to heaven. Okay, all right.
I'm just saying, Vision's gonna burn in hell.
I'm not gonna take no
because
back.
he's an abomination.
I'm not gonna take no back talk from a soulless robot.
You think you can just lift the hammer and all of a sudden you're important, okay? You're nothing. And I'm not a racist for saying that. I really hope these walls are paper thin. I'm not into feet. I'm not a feet guy, and I'm not racist for saying that.
You're gonna leave. I don't know. Is there a front desk at WeWork? Do you have somewhere where you check in?
Yeah, there is. But
Okay.
Not you don't have to check out. So I'm already in. So
Okay,
they
well,
make
that's
the
good.
mistake.
I was gonna say if you walk by, then they should be like, "Hey, by the way, you can't come back.
Give us back the card.
Give us back the card. We don't we don't condone whatever it is you do here."
I don't know what kind of perverted racism you were engaged in.
I don't know. It's sort of whatever racist kink podcast you're doing in there.
I really don't like it.
I don't like it, and we don't want you to record it here.
And the eighth of it that we heard was disgusting.
Yeah.
So, what was that last one you wanted?
I'll go one more. This is another one. This is from our buddy D, and this one's titled "Early Hunneds." He's got some notes on not notes, but questions or follow-ups on some of our episodes after episode 100. So, dear Logan and Josh too, I guess. Wow. D really creating a ranking there. I had some thoughts about the last few episodes. I'm going to try to go through them rapid fire. Episode 100, Logan, quote, "Nice thick gravy is a better nickname than Squeaks." I'd shorten it to just gravy or maybe grave to sound more street. Yeah, I don't, is gravy better though? I don't know. Logan, I mean, I guess
you hated Squeak so much, every word is better than Squeak.
That's true. I didn't like Squeaks very much. It's grown on me a little bit, but although now that I say, when you put all three of them together, Logan, Gravy, Nielsen, I do like that quite a bit actually. But only just gravy by itself, not really. But Logan, Gravy, Nielsen, I'm kind of into. So, dear Toontowns and Logan, Gravy, Nielsen. Josh is just shaking his head. Episode 102, your soda store idea reminded me of the frozen yogurt shops where you load up your own bowl with as much yogurt and toppings as you can handle and then pay by the weight. I think Lil Joshy's soda fountain sounds like yet another cash cow just waiting to be milked. We do have like a lot of franchises we're ready to start with this show, whether it's restaurants or summer camps, whatever it is.
A lot of useful IP.
A lot of untapped potential here. Hit me up when you're looking for investors. I want a cherry root beer flavored named after me. Okay, done. That's what we'll give to our angel investors there. Episode 103, Scare B&B, was a fire pun, and I think Josh only acts like he dislikes Logan's puns. Deep down, he knows how happy it makes Logan to see him annoyed, and he's being a good friend. That's real love, my guy. Yeah, I like that interpretation. That Josh, he gives a bad reaction because he loves me too much.
Well, that's not what it is. So
see, but that's exactly what you'd say in the character because you're just trying to make me feel good. I like this. We'll go with this, and Josh seems to like it too. It seems to be what his intention is, and we found it out, right, Josh? You just love me so much that you.
It's not really that at all.
You like the puns, and you like me more.
No,
but
you should probably not say that.
Okay. That is real love. Also, during Josh's story about hanging out with the old lady and going to CVS, I kept waiting for her to tell Josh, "Ain't nobody been to the moon. That's a scam." Like the Uber driver from Lil Joshy is kidnappable. That's it. Hope you're good. G's 90% recovered from his injury for the motorcycle accident. We still listen to the pod sometimes. I like this. This sentence is perfect. My mom refuses to learn your names and just calls you the funny guys. You know, the black one and the loud one.
That's amazing. Wow.
Peace D. Thank you for that, D.
The refuses is
Refuses is interesting. Refuses to learn our names is an interesting twist.
Knowing that by now you probably should know them, and then refusing is a real boss move.
Yeah. The black one and the loud one. I do think if we ever change the name of this show, I think we found it.
Yeah, 100%. Easily.
The black one and the loud one.
The black one and the loud one is probably the best name that we could come up with if we had all the time in the world.
I think so. Well, it honestly too, we're not selling, we're not short selling anyone. That you're at least going to get that. There's going to be a black guy and a guy that's too loud.
There will be one of each.
Well, it's probably a good place to wrap it up, huh? Close up the mailbag.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to the Josh Johnson Show. We had a great time recording. I hope you had a great time listening. I know that a WeWork is not ideal, and if it's up to me, this will never happen again. If you're looking to catch up with us on any of the socials, you can find me at Josh Johnson Comedy on Instagram, at Josh Johnson on Twitter, Josh J Comedy on Facebook, and Josh Johnson Comedy on TikTok and YouTube, where we're going to be posting clips of the show. And if you're looking for Logan,
you can follow me on Instagram at Logan M. Nielsen. And if you want to get into the mailbag, like all of those wonderful people that we just read messages from, you can email us, joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com. You can also leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. We like to read those too, and it helps the show, help us get a little more visibility. And I don't know if you feel like you've listened to the show a bunch and I just want some more. Why don't these guys have more content? Well, we do. It's over on Patreon, patreon.com/Josh Johnson Show. We have other podcasts there and video stuff. And we post videos of the live virtual shows that we're doing, which we'll probably be having one coming up soon.
So until next time, everybody, have a great weekend, and don't record at a WeWork.
Have y'all seen the Barbie movie yet? Yeah, okay, lie, yes or some no's. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm very excited to see it. Mainly because of what it's doing to white women. This is crazy. This is wild. What is happening? Like, I haven't seen it yet. I don't know what's happening in the movie, but white women are walking out militant as hell. This shit is Malcolm X for white women. This is fucking crazy. Dude, all of my white female friends that walk out of the movie are like, maybe we should do something about the Supreme Court. I'm like, jeez. What is happening in the movie? It is wild. This shit is like 300 for blondes that were in sororities. This is crazy. They just walk out of the movie like, I wish a fucking man would try to give me directions right now. I wish. I'm like, oh, okay. God damn. That's wild. I used to be a very chill person. Nothing ever bothered me. Nothing ever got to me. Everything rolled off my shoulder. Turns out I was just 17. I should have been chill. I wasn't paying any rent yet or anything. Now I'm in the real world. I'm very upset. This is horrible. And it sucks because when you're at every stage of your life, you feel stress. Every part of your life you felt stress. But as a kid, you think you know stress. Like you're sure that you know real stress as a little kid. Most stressed out person I ever met in my entire life was in elementary school. We were both 6, and this is the most stressed out to date. I've never met anybody like this. This kid was walking around like he had a full pension he was about to lose. Like he would crush his juice boxes when he got done with just so much like he had a mortgage. It was crazy. I'll never forget this. There was one time I went to a Montessori school, so we got nap time a little longer than other kids. And I remember we both 6 years old laying there. It was nap time, and nap time was the only time the teachers got a real break from us. But they needed all of us to be asleep, and he was just eyes wide, looking at the ceiling, thinking about an annuity or something. Just like, and sure enough, teacher walks up to him very sweetly. I remember because I was laying next to him. She's like, "Is there anything I can get you, or like, do you need an extra pillow or something?" And like, I wasn't asleep, but I was dozing. You know, there wasn't anything on my 6-year-old mind. I was chilling. You know? But what he said woke me right up. It was the wildest. So she's like, "Do you need anything? Is there anything I can get you?" And he turns to her and said, "Naps don't help when your soul is tired." So, whoa! Little man, what have you been through? What's happening right now? Oh, it was terrifying. It was crazy. I went to college for design, and it's funny how when you're graduating college, right at the end is when they tell you could have not done any of this. It's like the dean is like shaking your hand and handing your diploma and whispering in your ear. It's like, you didn't have to. And I remember I was just looking for any job that I could get out of college, and I started working at a grocery store. And I told them that I majored in design, and they were like, "Oh, you can design how we put up the grapes." And the grocery store that I worked at, I was in Chicago at the time, and it was a horrible neighborhood. It was very bad. This was like an epically bad neighborhood. We had so many different characters because there was a clinic at one end, like it was like a methadone clinic, so a lot of people that were on or trying to get off drugs would just be around the store. And then there was also a mental facility, so the people who got out of the mental facility but didn't have anywhere to go would just hang out at the grocery store. So I was constantly in danger. I got used to it. And I remember we had this guy, he was a pigeon man. And my man, I don't know if he was homeless or not, but all I know is he filled the parking lot with pigeons. Pigeons loved this dude so much. This nigga was usher for pigeons. I remember one time there was this guy walking into the store that, I don't know exactly what he said because I was putting up the cart, so I overheard something rude being said, but I don't know exactly what it was. But he was like, "Why don't you get a job, you piece of shit?" Like said something that was way too mean to just be passing somebody to walk in a grocery store. It was wild. Pigeon man didn't do anything, just stood there chill. Got a couple pigeons here, a couple pigeons here. Just let it go. Rolled her after shoulder. And then the guy's walking out of the store. And this is going to make me sound crazy. I'm just telling you what I saw, all right? Basically, that guy walked past Pigeon Man with his cart full of groceries, and then Pigeon Man looked at one of the pigeons and went, and then the pigeon flew into the back of that dude's head. And I'm not saying this man talks to pigeons. I'm just saying he did that, and then the bird did that. That's all. I'm just relaying information. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. I'm just, he went, and then the pigeon kamikaze the back of that dude's head. Almost knocked that man out. It was crazy. And then that's the other thing, too, is that there were so many characters that worked there, but then nobody warned me. So I just started working there. But when you work in a bad neighborhood, they don't make the people that come and frequent the store part of the training. They should do that. They should be like, "All right, look, on Wednesday, it's going to be a nigga in a dress. He gonna walk in, he gonna start fighting everybody, all right? So you just want to take cover, right?" They don't do any of that. They're just like, "All right, and then this is how you fill out your timesheet." Like, they act like it's a normal place. It was not a normal place. And so there was one day where this dude, this dude came in, walked in very casually, stopped right after the sliding doors, took off his shirt, took off his pants, and went, "I'ma fuck everybody." And then everyone started leaving the store. Everyone casually started filing out like it was time to go. No one protested. No one even stood to see if he meant it. Everyone was just like, all right, should have got here earlier. I was ringing up a woman in my line, and this old, like 80-year-old woman, I'm not even quoting her, she was like, fuck those grapes, not getting fucked today. And just keeps walking out. It was insane. Because then this is the worst part too. They never had good security guards there. So then the man screams, right? And apparently he just does this. That's what he does it so much that customers were like, "This is when we have to leave. This is not. The bread's not worth it. It's fine." You know what I mean? And then, all right. So I don't know the name of it, so I can't put them on blast or anything, but like they used this security guard service that was the worst security guard service I've ever seen in my life. I don't know where they were getting these security guards, because these people, not only were they not trained to like, they didn't like secretly know Krav Maga or something like that, they also weren't big. So then this man rolls in, he's like, I'm gonna fuck everybody, and then everyone starts leaving, and then the security guard, who I hadn't even noticed that day until this moment, because then I started scanning the grocery store for him. Security guard, I see him in the corner of my eye, he's walking towards me, and he's over here hobbling towards me. My man is 76 years old with a bad knee and just like, I think a metal ankle. I don't know what was going on with his legs. And he walked over and whispered in my ear, he's like, can you say something to him? I was like, can I say something? I was like, can I say something? I just repeated it back until he answered something. I was like, can I say something to him? Can I say something to him? Like, can I say that? And finally, he's like, look, young blood, I asked them to give me a gun, and they said no. All right? They know I can't fight. I would have cleared all this out if I had my pistol with me. And then we just started, like, because the dude is just walking throughout the store in his underwear, and so we're just conversing about what to do. We're literally like, well, look, they pay me to put up the grapes, like I'm not really here for all this other stuff. And then he's like, this man is genuinely floating with me. He's like, you think I only live 12-minute walk away? Should I go get my gun? Like, and then we can just look, I can go get my gun, we can act like you found it, right? And I was like, no, why would I find your gun that's at your house? And then my man said he said it was a 12-minute walk, but he's like, but you know I walk a little slow, so you're gonna have to hold him down for about half an hour, because, you know, with this leg, you know, it's been troubling me, it's been raining and shit, so I can't move like I used to. So then I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna get the gun. I was like, it takes you 30 minutes to do a 12-minute walk? He's like, yeah, so it's gonna be an hour. Like, it's gonna be quite a while before I can come. But as soon as I pop him, I bet he'll never be back here again. I was like, are you even a good shot? Like, like at a certain point you start considering it. My man is just like walking down the aisles, there's no customers in the store. He left, but he never came back. Like, I don't know what happened to him. I think he quit. I think he quit when he got home. I think he hobbled home, and then he was like, nah. You all were great. Thank you so much.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Josh Johnson, ladies and gentlemen.
Has anybody already talked about the boat? The Titanic thing? Okay, all right. Yeah, all right. Like, look. Y'all, we can say things here that we can't say out there. That's what makes this place special, all right? If I said out there what I'm about to say it here, I'd be a lunatic. I say it all day for in here, all right? I don't even know where to start. It really is the wildest. Like, how you go pay $250,000 and the captain using the controller I used to play Legend of Dragoon when I was 14. That's the same fucking controller, too. Not even the Xbox controller. They had a PS1 controller. PS1 doesn't even exist. You know what I mean? Even PlayStation is like, that's the one you. Ooh. I do feel horrible for Logitech as a company. I do, because they didn't have anything to do with this shit, and the stock went down. Like, that's. You gotta remember how stocks work. Stocks work, none of it's real. So it all works on your belief in the thing. And so now we believe in Logitech less because somebody decided to stick it into the controller of a submarine. Logitech had nothing to do with it. Logitech didn't roll up and was like, hey, when you drive your submarine, they didn't do that. They were just being Logitech. And then the motherfucker was like, I like the way that controller looked. Fuck a wheel. Let's go ahead and use these sticks. Yeah? That's somebody that's like hella overconfident in their NBA Jam game. You're like, let me just go ahead and use what I was using while I was killing them on NBA. No, it's wild. It really is. This is crazy. And I don't even know, like, you almost don't know how to feel. And I think that's part of the problem is that everything happens so fast now, you have to know how you feel immediately. Because everyone has a take immediately. And that's not how the world works, you know? Sometimes you see something, you don't know how you feel about it when it happens. And you need a day or two. But that's not how the news cycle works, it's not how people work, it's not how social works, you know? That's a big problem I have. I'm never the person with like the first take. I try to think for a while and then have a good take on something. And I still don't have a good take on this. I'll admit that right now. Like I really don't. It's hella conflicting. Like, I'll tell you who's not conflicted, though, is the Titanic. The Titanic is like, wow. Like, we up here, can we laugh about it? Can we not laugh about it? Whatever. Titanic just crip walking right now. Like, I fucking got another one. That's crazy. That's wild. I don't know what to do with that. Like, I feel weird about it because it's not all black and white. It's not all cut and dry, you know? Like there's a lot online that's like, hey, there was a boat full of refugees that capsized and didn't get any media attention and hundreds of people died, but then we're talking about these 5 rich people over and over. It's like, okay, sure, but like you can't just put all 5 people in it. You can't. One guy was the dumb captain. Do you know what I mean? And one person was a kid. That's a huge part that's left out of this thing. It's like that's the person who I actually do feel bad for in all this, even though he is like a billionaire son or whatever. I know it's easy to be like, fuck them all, but it's like that you could tell that kid went because he's like, it's Father's Day weekend. I can like. Oh, get that motherfucker a tie, all right? That's not worth all that. And it really is crazy, because I understand what people are saying when they make that distinction, when they're like, you know, this person gets no media attention, these people do, why are there so many search crews for these people? And there wasn't any, it took the Coast Guard a long time to get out there to help people we knew were drowning, whatever. And just hear me out, sincerely, just hear me out. I think that whether it's media attention or it's help from any government or group of people, the reason that they got all that attention and the other people didn't is that no one is trying to be those refugees. Does that make sense? We've been conditioned our whole lives to try to be billionaires, try to be millionaires, try to be like someone. So then when something happens that looks like it would happen to us if we became them, we're interested in it. And the media's interested in it, and government's interested in it and stuff. And so I think that that's the main reason. It's not some media failing, it's us. It's how we live, it's how we think and everything, you know? Like, I want to know, how do you put it? it's not even a person thing. I'm most curious to know what the orcas think. Do you know what I mean? Just because they pretty deep, and so when that shit went down, that would scare the shit out of an orca. Like just a huge explosion out of nowhere. Orca's like, this is a bad neighborhood. I knew it. This is